Welcome to the Cedar Park United podcast. On this second Sunday of Lent, we gather in faith that spring is near, that each seed of justice will grow, that caring for the homeless, feeding the hungry, and nurturing community moves the world towards compassion, even if it is beyond what we can see. Our guest speaker, Kirstie Jagoe, speaks to this from her perspective as the founder of the Montreal-based nonprofit Bread and Beyond. During the COVID lockdown, she began supporting local shelters for people experiencing homelessness. As she began to understand the complexity and impact of homelessness in Montreal, Kirstie founded Bread and Beyond to harness the power of community networks to inform, connect, and respond to the needs of the organizations supporting people experiencing and at risk of homelessness.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this beautiful service this morning. Every time I come here, I feel like it's almost a meditation, and I come away feeling so much more restored and relaxed from these services, so thank you so much. Some of you might know our wonderful girls up there. They have been making sandwiches with Cedar Park for several years, I think now. So my name is Kirstie Jagoe. I am the founding director of Bread and Beyond. I'm going to keep on doing this weird hand movement because that means next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so I'll say first of all, before we get into the problems, Bread and Beyond does work to connect communities with organizations that are working with people that are currently homeless, hungry, and those who are at risk of homelessness. When I was told about the theme of this morning, Beyond What You Can See, it made me realize how that is so closely connected to everything that we do at our work with Bread and Beyond. Beyond what we can see. We've all seen people in doorways at St. Catherine's, in the metros downtown, on park benches. And what we see there is somebody perhaps that maybe hasn't been able to attend to their hygiene as much as they wanted to. Maybe they have ripped and torn clothes. Maybe they're surrounded with their belongings. Maybe they're acting erratically because of mental health challenges or substance abuse. But beyond that, there's a story. Every single person you see, there's a story. It's a story of a child that had dreams and hopes. And then there's a story of a very traumatic pathway with many different personal challenges as well as systemic failures along that way to put that person to that point that they are in that life. Domestic violence, systemic racism, the cost of living, the housing crisis, immigration challenges are all part of that pathway that got that person there. So Beyond What You Can See is huge and key to our work at Bread and Beyond. The problems that we're trying to address, there's three key problems at Bread and Beyond. We have a homelessness crisis within our city, within our province, within our country, within our world. It's a global issue at the moment. The organizations that are working within this crisis are overwhelmed. Between 2018 and 2022, homelessness went up by 40% in Quebec, 40. We did another count last year and we're still waiting for those numbers, but everything points to the fact that it's gone up substantially again. So without community help and community engagement, the organizations cannot do their work. They need our help. Second, that hand. I'm not helping you really, am I? Because I forever move my hands, so it doesn't. I need to do something a bit more. The needs at these organizations are often not known. They're misunderstood, and they're often left unmet. Next one, please. The misinformation, disinformation, and stigma associated with homelessness means that a lot of people don't want to help. The number of times we hear is, why do you bother? They're all lazy. Why do you bother? They should just get a job. So everything that we do at Bread and Beyond tries to address this. The organizations are overwhelmed. They need our help. There's a lot of people who want to help. They don't know how to help. So we help people help. There's a lot of people who don't want to help because they believe the misinformation and the disinformation, so we work to correct that. Next slide, please. A lot of you know about our bread program. I think we've been very lucky that Cedar Park United became one of our first and probably most active love hubs. Our central location is in NDG, but we had so many people across Montreal Island, down into the South Shore and up into Laval saying we want to help as well. As we all know, trying to get into the city is a huge headache. So there was a big barrier for people helping. The figures in 2024 showed that the areas within Montreal Island and out of Montreal Island that were showing the fastest increase in homelessness was in suburban areas. Dorval, Longueuil, they were all showing the biggest increase. So rightly so, we were having people outside of Montreal, downtown Montreal, wanting to help. So we created our Love Hub here. Love Hub allows you to help, it allows you to reach out, and it's made an incredible connection between you and Ricochet, which is the local shelter in the West Island as well. So sandwiches is the main way we started. It was during COVID lockdown. There was a call out for food to go. So I started making sandwiches with my 2 teenage boys at that point in my kitchen. And it became, I think we just said, a ripple effect, basically. My friends also had bored teenagers at home. They said, what a great idea. They started making sandwiches, started making sandwiches, started making sandwiches. Why sandwiches? Because they're a good food to go. First of all, they're easy to make. They're nutritious. We can make many different types of sandwiches that meet many different dietary requirements. We can make a lot of sandwiches as well. But they're also an amazing food to go. All the sandwiches that you make, you individually wrap them, you label them with the date that they were made, and they can be handed out from the door of the shelter. Martha's showing one from behind us there. A lot of people don't want to go inside a shelter. If you're a woman that's experienced domestic violence and there's men in a shelter, you don't want to go inside that shelter. So you'll come to the door and you'll ask for food, and it can be handed out. A lot of the people that you see in the metro or doorways, park benches or tents down near Lachine Canal, they don't want to leave their space in fear of losing their items or losing that spot. So the intervention workers from the organizations will put the sandwiches into their bag, cooler, and take them out. And those sandwiches start a conversation. Would you like a sandwich? Do you need to see a doctor? Can I charge your cell phone? Is there anything I can do for you? Many of the shelters we support will make a breakfast and a hot meal, but they don't do an evening, hot lunch, but they don't do an evening meal. They just don't have the resources. So people will come in for a hot lunch, and they'll take a couple of sandwiches to go, maybe a couple of meat and cheese and a couple of PBJs for their breakfast the next day. So sandwiches are super cool. Linking to the theme of today, beyond what we can see. Visibly, the sandwiches are food. Beyond that, those sandwiches send a message. You matter. Someone cares. There's a community here for you. So beyond what you can see, the impact is belonging. Next slide, please. Sorry, these are really small, so I'm just going to talk you through. We now support 10 organizations. I'll show you these 10 organizations in a minute. But what this is showing you, that between 2024 and 2025, the amount of sandwiches we make went up by 30%. In 2025, we made 150,000 sandwiches. It's on average, well, you guys did that as well. It's an average of 3,000 sandwiches per week. And we do that through crowdsourcing. We have 3-year-olds making sandwiches at home with their grandparents. Our oldest volunteer is now 99, and she's been making them for 5 years. We have love hubs like yourselves here, Longay. We have several churches across the island make sandwiches for us as well. Kindergartens, mosques, synagogues, workplaces. We go out to corporate groups, RBC, Lindt Chocolate, which was a great one to go to. Yeah, we made sandwiches and we came away with a lot of chocolate. We talk about homelessness. We make sandwiches together. We have fun. We deliver those sandwiches to the shelters. So it's a crowdsourcing way of pulling sandwiches together. Next slide, please. These are the organizations that we make sandwiches for. Ricochet is the one that receives your sandwiches. We also deliver to several organizations downtown, as well as a warming shelter in NDG, which is now open 24/7, 12 months a year. And we started supporting local low-income camps for kids as well. We found out that the kids that were coming to a camp, after-school camp near to us, a lot of them hadn't had breakfast nor lunch. So we started providing sandwiches to them as well. So thank you to every single one of you that have made a sandwich. It makes a difference. It's seen. Next slide, please. So I think a lot of you also know that beyond the sandwiches, we have 3 Beyond programs. When we started making sandwiches, we had many people come to us going, sandwiches are great, we love it, but what else can we do? So that's when we realized we had an incredible community, the power of which we really wanted to harness. So we have 3 Beyond programs. The first one is the Essentials Box program, and I have a 4-minute video for you to play, so I won't tell you anything more about that program. It's actually me speaking on the videos, so I won't repeat myself, and I'll play the video for you now. Thank you. I think in line with our theme today, beyond what we can see, is what Kerry-Ann, who's an intervention worker that works with kids that are transitioning out of residential and foster care, what one of the boys she was helping set up in the apartment said. He couldn't believe that people he had never met would do so much to help him, beyond what we can see. I'm going to take you through a few slides now so you can actually see what's in those boxes a bit more before we move on to the next Beyond. So this is a room at Old Brewery Mission. This is a transitional room where people will move into when they first move off the streets, out of these typical shelter bunk bed area. There is a small kitchenette and they have a shower there. And at this point, they're learning how to live back into a place of their own. They're learning about paying the bills. They're learning about putting out the trash. They're learning about managing life in a house again before they move on to the next stage. Next slide, please. This is a bedroom box. We'll take your sheets, we wash them, we fold them, we match them. They're tied with a bow, and we have a lady that makes now hundreds, if not nearly 1,000 of these welcome home cards that go under the bow. This is a message to say, we care, good luck, you've got this. It's definitely not a message to say, you can have this, we don't want it. Next slide, please. This is a bare bathroom box, towels, toiletries, shower curtains. Next slide, please. Sorry. Grocery box, non-perishables, and they also get a Dollarama card that have been donated to us, so the recipients can go to Dollarama and buy, you can get bread, you can get milk, or they can buy anything you want from Dollarama at that point. Choice is one thing that a lot of people that are experiencing homelessness say that they miss the most, to have choice of what you eat, choice of where you sleep, choice of who you mix with. So that Dollarama card provides some choice to the people as well. Next slide, please. A cleaning. Next slide. And finally, a kitchen box. All these boxes are tailored according to the gender the person identifies as, the size of their bed, and their dietary requirements. This is not a one-size-fits-all system. It's tailored to the person that's receiving it. Next slide, please. Okay, again, this is small. I do apologize. This is slightly old. Last year, we actually put out 1,500 of these boxes. The program is growing exponentially each year. We have 30 different partners. I'll show you those partners in a moment. But the majority of them are going, 75% are going to people moving out of homelessness. We have 17% are going to people that are newly arrived immigrants and refugees, and the rest are going to youth that are transitioning out of care. Next slide, please. These are the partners. A lot of partners. So amongst those, you have the organizations supporting people moving out of homelessness, Old Brewery Mission, Maison du Père, Accueil Bonneau. You have women's shelters. We work with the SUS that are moving people into new apartments. We're working with Batshaw, moving youth, transitioning out of care. So it's across the board. We work with Don LaRue, specializing in youth, transitioning out of homelessness as well. I can talk more about these partners afterwards. Next slide, please. The second of our Beyond programs is impactful donating. The organizations we work with, it struck me so hard. When I first walked in, there's a wall of stuff. And I walked in with my box of donations of t-shirts and pants. And I said, "Ooh, you have a lot of stuff." And they said, "We don't need any of that stuff." So I said, "Okay, this is a big issue." People use the shelters worse than Renaissance. They use them as a dumping ground, and the amount of time it takes to sort and store all those items is a huge waste of money for the shelters that are already running on a shoestring. So we try and educate people on how to give. Next slide, please. We do call out for items. We work with the shelters every day. I'm texting the shelters, "What do you need? How do you need it?" And we bring that back to our communities. Right now, in fact, we've shut down our donation collections because we just have too much. It's been an incredible winter for us. We have such a big pile that we need to go through. Everything you donate, we take it out of a bag, we sort it. We put it either whether it's masculine or feminine. We put it basically whether it's spring, summer, or fall. Or we do also have a big pile that does need to go to Renaissance because it is high heels or slinky dresses, just things that are not appropriate for the shelters. So that's what we do to all your donations. Next slide, please. You recognize this lady, I think, on here. On our website, we have something called the Need Seeker. We just need to click there. Again, it's quite small. Sorry, can you click on the next one? You click on Need Seeker, and you can go on in. You can type in what you have to donate, and it brings up all the shelters that are looking for that item right now. It's updated every second month at the moment. So you know, if you have boots to donate, you know where you can take them. It has drop-off locations, it has time, and you know that shelter needs your boots right now. We also use this Need Seeker. When we have everything sorted, we go on the Need Seeker and say, "Hey, we've got 5 bags of pants, who needs them?" Then we take them to the shelters that need them. We don't take anything that is not needed to the shelters. If we receive winter items now, we're probably going to start storing them because a lot of the shelters have got all the winter items they need right now. Next slide, please. And sorry, just to say with that impactful donating, that program is something that we're trying to expand at the moment. Because what we also find is that we walk into shelters and they say, "Hey, we got 20,000 pairs of socks donated last week. We don't have the space to store them. Can you help us?" Yes, we can help you. So we take those socks and we take them to where they're needed. What we're going to be trying to do over the next couple of years, we're actually doing a survey with all the shelters at the moment to understand their storage and their donations and how it all works. We're going to try and set up a more centralized donation service where we bring more of the donations into one space, alleviate the burden on the shelters to sort and store, and get that out to the shelters that need it. So a A lot of the larger shelters get large donations, which could very easily be shared amongst other shelters. So that's something we're going to try and work on. And the third part of our Beyond is raising awareness. We work from elementary school kids all the way up to our corporate groups talking about homelessness to try and correct that dis and misinformation that we hear all the time, bust the stigma associated with homelessness that we see all around us in the media every day. We see it. We see it even talking amongst ourselves. It's ingrained in us, and it's taken quite a long time to shift that stigma for sure. And I think beyond what we see comes into this a little bit more. When we start looking beyond and we start, I guess, moving from judging to curiosity, and we start moving from charity to solidarity, and we start listening and acting thoughtfully, that's when we can move on to understanding and collective responsibility. And that's when change really does start to happen for sure. So I love your theme. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. And I hope that we can continue working in so many more different ways in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Cedar Park United podcast. If it inspired you, or comforted you, or even ruffled your feathers in a good way, please consider leaving a positive rating or subscribing to help others find their way here too. It matters.